continuing on with our Versus series. We're going to be going Port St. Lucie to Indian River County, single-family homes under 500,000. Now, here's the deal. In Indian River County, you could be getting a lot more home for the dollar, and if you're a seller, it's going to take a little bit longer to sell it, which might mean you might be taking less. We're going to get into that right now. Let's go. Here's the tale. We're going to get to why you're going to be saving a little bit more money potentially by going up into River County, why sellers could be getting a little bit less. And, you know, we're going to see that here in the data. Now, let's start off with the August numbers came in. Super excited about that because I always love new data. And so we had 1,283 units that were on the market in August, all right? Those are single-family homes under 500,000, all of St. Lucie County. We're not doing age or pools or anything like that, all right? So we had 1,283 that were on the market. We had 371 that went under agreement, and we had 380 that sold. Now, if we look over year in our wonderful market analysis here, we're up 8.5% in the homes for sale on the market from the previous month. So inventory crept up a little bit. Now, here's the big number. So we're at 92.9%, so almost 93% more product, more inventory coming on the market. Now, if we look at the closed homes, it's actually down 10.4 from the previous month's percent. So we're down in closed units by about 10%, and we're down 8.4% from this time last year, August of 23. So you're down in the homes closed month over month, and you're down in closed units year over year. Homes placed under contract was actually down 15.3%. So you're just not having as many go under agreement, which is pretty amazing. We're going to get into price per square foot. Usually, again, that would be suppressive if we were down in the amount of units sold, more inventory coming on the market that should put prices down, but it hasn't. I'm going to show you that in a second. And then again, those homes placed under contract, 15.3 month over month, and then down 3.1% from the previous year. Now, as we dive over here into Indian River County, much smaller county. So there was 411 units that were on the market as of August. 140 went under agreement, and then we had 117 sold. And again, this is the same thing, single-family homes under 500,000 in all of Indian River County. Now, we'll look at our market highlights here. What does this tell us? Homes for sale was actually down 2.2% month over month, so they're actually down in homes going on the market. And we're up 2.2. Sorry, we're up 2.2%. So a little bit more inventory coming on the market, but we're up 78%. Now, not as much as that Saint Lucie County that was 97% more inventory coming on the market. So we're not seeing quite as many units percentage-wise coming on the market. Now, closed units, they were actually down. Now, closed units in third quarter, especially August, I think it's probably the sleepiest time. September might be a little sleepier, but they're right on par. So we're down 23% in closed units, and we're month over month, and we're down 9.3 in closed units from year over year of August of 23. So, you know, again, you'd think that this would suppress prices. It hasn't. Homes placed under agreement was down 5.4%. So you're just not having as many go under agreement. Not a big deal, but we're actually up in properties going under agreement 3.4%. So, you know, you're having a few more go under agreement. And again, it's not as big a county, but I think that it's kind of interesting to look at. Now, let's look at our price per square foot, because I think this is where the tale starts to be told, is that we're at $22 price per square foot sold on average, all right? So 222. Now, think of it this way. The living square footage is what we're measuring here. So not your garage, not your patio, not, you know, your pool area or anything like that. So this is under air, that's air conditioned. That was $222 a square foot in Port St. Lucie. So let's look at the market stats here. It's down 0.5, so not a big deal month over month. That usually doesn't change that much, but we're only up 0.9%. So we're up almost 1%. So what does this tell us? My ultimate point here is in both of these counties, we have a significant amount of inventory coming on the market, almost double in Port St. Lucie, 78% there in Indian River County, and it hasn't suppressed prices. That average price per square foot has not gone down. Supply and demand would be, as supply goes up, demand stays the same. That should drive prices down, but it hasn't. So I think that this tale gets told a little bit further as we look into Indian River County. It's $210 a square foot for that same home. So think about it this way. If we had, say, we had a $100,000 house. If we matched that to Port St. Lucie or we kind of compared them, Port St. Lucie to Indian River County, that's $12 per square foot less in Indian River County. And there's an old rule, as you move south, price per square foot goes up. So as you move up, price per square foot goes down, right? So this shows us that, right? This shows us that we're actually, you can buy more home. You can buy more home. Now, that would be a $12,000 difference, remember, because there's a $12 differential in the price per square foot sold. So a 100,000 square foot home, that would be around $12,000. $200,000 home, that would be $24,000, right? $300,000 home, that's $36,000. So you're talking about a $36,000 difference for the same home. Now I'm using a little bit of guerrilla math here, but you're looking at about a $36,000 difference. So talk to your mortgage broker. You can buy that much more home up in Indian River County than you can down in St. Lucie County. Now, some people would say, well, I get so much more home for the dollar. Well, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about that, because you might not be saving that much money, and I'm gonna get into that story here in a second. But let's go over to the days on market and the original listing price to sale price. Now, I talked about this before, the original listing price to sale price, and I wanted to kind of put it in a little bit more simple context here, because I'm a simple guy. If you had an original price of $100,000 and you sold the property for $90,000, that would have been 90%, right? So that's 90% of the original listing price to sale price, all right? So bear with me here, right? So, but if you lowered the price from the 100,000 to 95 and you still sold for 90,000, it would still be 90,000, not off of the 95,000. And maybe I'm bouncing around a little bit here, but I want you to see it's the original listing price. So what tends to happen as properties stay on the market longer? Now in Port St. Lucie, they were staying on the market around 60 days. Let's look at the market highlight just so we can go year over year and month over month. Compared to last month, it was up for those days on the market about 3.4%. So staying on the market a little bit longer, or up year over year 25% longer. So it's taking, if it was 100 days, it would be 75 days on the market in that 25% differential there. But ultimately, it's taking longer for properties to sell, and you can see this graph going up and to the left, right? So that's 60 days on the market, and the original listing price to sale price 95. Now, if we look over here at Indian River County, it is 94%, so 1% less original listing price to sale price, 76 days on the market. So it's taking, a little over 2 weeks longer to sell a property in Indian River County. Let's look at this as our market highlight. We're down 2.6% on that days on the market, and then we're down month over month, and then we're down 1.3% year over year. So average days on the market is actually going down a little bit more in Indian River County. Now, if we look at the original listing price to sale price, that went up 1.1% and year over year, month over month, and it went down 1.1% year over year. So, you're just getting a little bit less on average, and I think that has something to do with it. Your days on market is creeping up, so people are willing to take a little bit less. All right. Now, lastly, Let's go into our month supply of inventory. Again, over 6 months of inventory is a buyer's market. Somebody's like, oh, it's a buyer's market out there. Not even close. Look, we're at 3.4 months of inventory. And that between 3 and 6 months of inventory is a neutral market. That's where, buyers are kind of in the same place as the sellers. But as that neutral market gets closer to the 3, so under 3 months of inventory, that's actually that seller's market. So we're closer to a seller's market than we are a buyer's market, single family homes under 500,000 in St. Lucie County. Now, as we look at our market highlight here, we are up 21%, a little over 21% for the inventory, month supply of inventory month over month. We're up 112.3% in that month supply of inventory. If you went back to 823, it was 1.6 months of inventory. We're very, very much in a seller's market a year ago. So, but I think other than that big spike there at the 5, most of it has been relatively close to a seller's market. We just had that little spike up in January. All right, so as we look over here at Indian River County and we look at our month supply of inventory, it is 3.5 months of inventory. So a little bit more inventory, but closer to a seller's market than it is a buyer's market. And if we look at our market highlight here, we're up 34% in Indian River County. So we got more properties coming on the market and month over month. That's quite a big jump in 1 month, 34%. So we're going to keep an eye on that and see if that keeps trending up or not. We're getting towards the end of third quarter, so my inclination is that snowbirds are going to start, especially from Canada. We start getting those calls in September and October because it gets a little colder up there and they don't celebrate Thanksgiving or Christmas as heavily as America does. But anyways, that's another story for another day. But we're up 95% in month supply of inventory year over year. So what does all of this tell us? This tells us what I meant by that sellers are actually, they're taking a little bit less. They're taking longer to sell in Indian River County. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, why wouldn't I buy in Indian River County if I can be, roughly $36,000, $40,000 less for the same property? I'm saving money. Yes and no. What do I mean by that? Yes, you're saving money. You're going to be able to get more home for the dollar. Undeniable. However, you're going to be paying more for gas because it's just a more rural county. It's not as dense as Port St. Lucie. So the amenities that are there are going to be further away. Your Walmart, your Publix, your Walgreens, all that kind of stuff is just going to be further away. So you might be burning money with gas to go to the amenities, but that might not be that big a deal. However, let's say you had a job in Palm Beach County or even lower in St. Lucie County, and you had to do that drive. What is that hour-long, roughly hour, depending on where you are, right? If you're down in Palm Beach County, it's going to be, a couple-hour drive, depending on where you are. It's a big county. But if you didn't have to have a job where you had to drive or you had to go to the airport, a couple times a month or something like that, that's something to pay attention to. So what's the overall story here? Taking longer in Indian River County, but you're going to, as a buyer, get more home for the dollar. So you sellers out there are going to be probably taking a little bit less because there's more inventory on the market, and it seems to be creeping up a little bit. We can see that, back to that 3.5 months of inventory. It's creeping up there in Indian River County. So what does this say? It says, buyers, there's an opportunity out there for you as long as you're very cognizant about that drive time. And for you sellers out there, pay attention. This inventory kind of creeping up a little bit, and obviously you have a little more days on the market, so you might be taking a little bit less. So I hope this is helpful in our Versus series. I'd love your opinion on how these videos are coming out. Do you like the interface? Is there something you like more or less? I'd love to hear from you, and it always is my pleasure to serve. And I love doing this stuff. I love data. We will see you on the next one. Thank you.